He's going around turning water into wine and making all sorts of magic happen.
Bergik breaks things, he fixes them.
Makes sense.
In the meantime, Beignet, I know we have our differences that could possibly be resolved through some adventure where we bond together as a group, but for now we have nothing but dissent and conflict. A conflict that needs to be resolved.
The conflict can be resolved by everyone listening to me, and that's the end of the story.
Oh, is it the beginning of the story?
Listen, I don't have time for your meaningless prattle. I'm just here to make sure everyone remains safe and that we survive the night, which shouldn't be too hard. But I don't know, some of you are rather uneducated, so we'll just have to see.
How dare you?
Why don't you just go to sleep? How about that?
Don't make direct eye contact with me and then say that some of you are rather uneducated. Also, apparently, Reginald harumphs.
Oh,
Just
man.
imagine it like snorting out through his nose.
It's yes, yeah, roll the what would that be? For harumph? Yeah, roll harumph.
I will roll for harumph. That's a natural 12 plus, I think there's a +4 for Pop's harumphing.
It is
I might be wrong about the conditional effects.
Yes, it is effective in that the other swine inside this pin inside Beignet's pin is harumphing beneath Beignet and like yeah. There's on that guy's side. He motions towards we can't all be under somebody's listen to one person. We've it's not no one's I ain't got no you're not my dad and I ain't even got a dad.
Who are you? Shut up. I don't care.
Chuggums.
I'm not gonna remember your name specifically.
That's fine by me because I go solo. Chuggums turns and he's going to make a attempt at something at the gate to. He got a natural 1. He tries to get his little hooves around the gate pin to leave, but he immediately tumbles backwards and is having a go of it, and he's like, a little help here.
I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to laugh, but you were so pathetic. I couldn't help it.
This is something that we can agree on. That was quite humorous. Bridges are being built already.
Roll intimidation at advantage because you've been aided by Pops.
Okay.
The Pop, which is Reginald.
It's a 22.
Yeah. This swine is blushing and totally aside himself and embarrassed by the whole situation, and he's like, oh, this is bad. This is I've made a fool of myself in front of all Natalia's new people she's taking care of. This is this is the worst. I apologize for my transgressions, and I mean more ill will. As that happens, a large bird walks in to it's kind of like is flopping its legs out and around, and walks into the middle of the stable, and it's calling for Chuggums. Chuggums, are you here? Chuggums. And Chuggums turns and he goes, yeah, I'm here, but not here for long, because I go visit alone, and I don't roll with no ones. And even one time I came close to it, everybody pointed at me and made me the butt of the joke, just because a guy can't get his hooves around the pin. Oh, well, that's a lot of information. As I have information for you, Chuggums. It's your father. My father? I got no father. It's your father. But you do, Chuggums. He's in grave danger. He's in the thicket. He's in the thicket at Briar's End. That at the end of the Hollowwood, where it runs into the winter's precipice. Oh no, that's bad. I don't like to go over there, because there's not even any grubs around there. Nothing lives over there. Nothing lives that I'd want to eat on.
Wow, he's a fool and a coward.
No, we should not make fun of our children. We shall help if someone's in danger.
I mean, I suppose that's what Amaro would want, but I was charged with keeping everyone safe, and if we go on some random adventure to help some foolish little
Hell, were you charged with keeping us safe or everyone safe, including the father of Chuggins?
We shall go help.
Oh,
I'm okay with it.
The bird is like, this is wonderful. I have never seen such camaraderie. I've been a sort of I've looked after Chuggums as he's been an outcast among the prairie, and I saw that he could not fend for himself. He could barely even get in the gate to get into Natalia's sanctuary, and I had to help him through the gate his first time here. And I to see others take on the role of guiding him under their proverbial wing, as I once did, but now I'm too old. As you see, all of my feathers are gray, and all of my legs are all floppy, and they creak when I do this, and it makes like a weird motion with its leg, and it's all creaky. And
have you tried stretching in the mornings? I find that it's very helpful.
I suffer from my inability to commit to daily regiments of that such. It's a cruel mistress.
True bugbear of age, yes.
Hobbs is gonna go put a wing on his shoulder and go, "Sire, you may not be young, but you are still full of use."
Oh, why? Thank you. Roll charisma.
And wisdom.
Where's my D20? That's a 10.
Yeah, it's like Oh, I'm hardly of much more use than a messenger. Though I am I am bound to the floor, as these old wings can't flap like they used to. I can step around and let people know when I see things in trouble. I was like Chuggum's here, and his father I've seen I haven't seen any swine like Chuggum's. He's a very peculiar swine. He has the tusks that are inverted, and I like horns through his lower jaw, and there's no swine like that around the prairie. But when I was in the Hollowood, I was I saw him in the precipice. He was in grave danger of the cold. He seemed to be carried away by the blizzard that swept in. It doesn't normally come out that far. I only go in there to collect these little pop rocks that are full of electricity, and they help with my arthritis, as my knees are they make this crazy sound when I do this, and it makes the motion again, and it makes the sound again. And I go into and on my not daily regiment, I do it sporadically throughout the week on random
Perhaps
days.
you can give us more information about your daily regimen as you lead us towards where Chuggin's father lies.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And
Getting old and lead us to the place we need to go so we can get this over with.
yes, I shall do just that. Now, and as she starts flopping in the other direction with her bird legs, kind of just dragging this big like ostrich body along the ground. The Chuggums and a lot of the party, if anyone wants to try this gate, make a attempt intelligence at the gate.
I shall try.
All right, roll 10 or higher intelligence.
I just dropped my d20.
No.
16.
Yeah, it seems like if you lift the lever thing, that that's the only thing impeding the gate from swinging outwards. So Hobbs swoops down from the load-bearing column and onto the lever thingy and picks it up. And because Chuggums was on the ground upside down and embarrassed by the whole thing, was still leaning on the gate. It tumbles forward and slams open, and Chuggums rolls out into the middle of the stable, and he's gonna roll Constitution. He gets a 9, and he looks like he's about to throw up, but then swallows it, and then gets up and starts to follow this large bird. As it's dragging itself across the out of the stable. And what's everybody else doing in their stables, or are you guys heading out?
I'm trotting very conceitedly and elegantly out towards the destination.
All right. Yep.
In front of, if anyone, I need to be in front. Just
Yeah, it's quite easy to make the ground in front of this very tall and heavy flightless bird with brittle knees.
Reginald is going to be like trotting along beside the elderly bird, talking about the moisturizing routines he and his husband have, and comparing it to the bird's moisturizing routine, giving advice on things that probably can't be found here.
Oh, Why? I stink at sticking with routines, but I sporadically, I use the dust from the burnt ash of
Oh, dust is
Halloween.
an excellent exfoliant, but if you really want moisture back in your skin, you need to go down to the beach and rub your face in the mud every morning. I swear it does wonders in the area where we are. Salt water coming in on the beach. It's very nice. It's exfoliant and moisturizer all in one. And then afterwards, air dry. But
We have Soylent. I'm not familiar with any beaches with that, but any beach that
a long way from here,
I've been to,
in a
if
life
you
I
tried
left
that,
behind.
you'd burn your face clean. You burn the beak clean off of your face, friend. Is that what happened to you? Is that why you have no beak, sir? I've asked.
Honestly,
asked
my
too
life
far.
Honestly, my life before Remus, my husband Remus, has diminished so far into the past as to be almost unavailable to me. All I think about is him every day. I miss him so. But my new master is excellent, I'm sure. She has a snake that. Oh, thank God he's not here. That asshole is such a fucking piece of crap. He's bitten me like 3 times.
Maya's tickled by all of this.
I'm so sorry for all of this.
Hobbs is just flying along and just sort of giggling to himself, like, "Oh yes, that has happened."
Yeah.
Yeah, she totally immolated me too.
Oh yes, she can be feisty. I forgot about when she did, in fact, throw a, I believe, firebolt of some sort at me.
You
Luckily,
probably deserved it. I think Mai's a good judge of character. She knows who to hurt and when. I respect her.
oh, if you, oh, okay, all of us are children of Hobbs and are forgiven for our aggressions.
Yes, if you go down to the beach and rub your face in mud, it makes your face feel nice and smooth, and I think that's why I chose me to go along and become a child of Hobbs up above who has created himself from nothing.
This is a fake cult we created under the guise of entering the summer court. Like, we're not really children of Hobbs. I'm not. I'm just acting. This is all rubbish.
You remember your birth?
Excuse me, do I remember my what?
Your birth? I do not remember my birth. I could very well be a child of Hobbs.
My birth is complicated, but I am not a child of Hobbs, I know that much. I am loyal to House Flamov, and I do whatever Amara asks of me.
Ah, I see.
So
A
I'm
child.
pretending to go along with this cultish ruse we have, but it's not real. It's just a ruse.
I had assumed that it was real. Pop culture is one based entirely on meritocracy, and I don't know any of my genetic relatives. The only family I've ever known was Remus.
Children, you do not need to have proclaimed that you are a child of Hobbs to be accepted as a child of Hobbs.
So it's more state of being than a genetic disposition. Got it.
Absolutely.
Are you saying that the swine is Chuggums is digging his lower tusk out of some of the this patch of shimmering flowers, and he looks up and he's like, "Are you saying that you could be my pops, my dad?"
child of Hobbs, this does not necessarily mean genetically a child of mine directly, only a child of my philosophy.
It's going to roll intelligence at 10 or higher. They got 3. And it tears
Yes.
up and it's like I never met my real dad. Oh, this is wonderful. And he tries to look around, and he's going to roll survival to improvise a ball. He wads up the patch of shimmering foliage that he was just rummaging around in, and the mud that was on his beard helps the foliage stick together, and he wads it up like a football, and he tries to have a catch, and he tosses it at you. It's
sorry, Beignet is gonna try to thwart it by flapping their peacock tail
I love
to
it.
create a gust.
I love it.
So it's a 12 against dexterity of Beignet. Roll dexterity, Beignet.
It's a 12.
It's a 12. It matches perfectly, so much so that it's this grand gesture that instead of smacking it to the ground, Beignet somehow catches it, and the pop or the swine, it looks and is like interception, and is going to roll 13. It kind of kicks the dirt a little bit, and is lost in trying to reconcile with the events that have taken place thus far, as the elderly bird puts his big floppy leg over the swine and says, there, pal, it's your father needs you, and he is far on the other side of the hollow wood, in the jaws of the winter itself. It's quite dangerous, and
I love so much the fact that this critter campaign is predicated on this swine losing his father, and the swine immediately thinks, wait, that bird is my dad.
Yes. He's
I'm so happy with it.
He's like not the brightest little guy, but he's got a lot of chutzpah.
Oh.
And he's under the watchful eye of this elderly bird. It's like an ostrich kind of thing that's dragging along. You guys are moving out of so far you've made it all the way from in front of the stable to those big gates where you guys first walked into the city, and you saw the mayor and everybody, and there's the party having a discussion over at the marketplace behind you guys, and they're right down the street a little bit as you guys head on past the gate and out the front of it, and there are some people raising their or roll stealth. Are you guys doing this stealthily, or are you just like moving as a big giant pack down the street?
I'm just flying.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm just moving.
All right.
Reginald is being super stealthy, though.
All
Like,
right.
going behind barrels, like, kind of matching strides with some bigger people, and then, like, running behind and, like, underneath a deck.
Roll stealth. Reggie.
Yes. That's a natural 6. And if it's a level 6 monk, that would be a +7. 13.
Very cool. Yeah, you're rolling around, doing like barrel rolls, but sideways, and
But the mud feels so good, so he doesn't roll quite as quickly as he should.
through all the no one even notices, but some other eyes are raised at a big party of different kinds of animals, all heading up the street, and no one's too worried, as they are familiar with the prairie animals coming and going from Natalia's, and among those, you guys make it out to the prairie. It's this rolling, sprawling hills of this lime yellow grass with all of these tall stalks of these impossibly tall moon petal. They look like trees compared to the average critter, and there's the smell of this moon oil all over, wafting through the gentle breeze that blows northwards, where you guys are also, where this elderly bird is leading you guys. And
can I do a quick perception check or insight check to see if the breeze is Remus saying Reginald's name on the wind?
Yeah, roll
Okay, cool.
perception.
15. 14, sorry.
It's
probably just wind. It's probably just wind. Oh, it's another plane. Remus is gone now. Remus is gone. So, and yay! How did you come to be in the service of the Flourmont family?
Because Amara willed it. It's that simple. That's all.
Ooh, good talk. Good talk. Hobbs, how about you? How did you come to be in the service of Bergerac, that most individual, that most individual?
Oh, the story is quite long. You see,
Tell me every detail.
well,
Zoom out.
sorry.
At a game, zoom out at that moment.
yeah. We have a
sorry,
camera.
I didn't mean to step on that.
Yeah, we have a jib shot that we pull away in a voca motion as we actually focus on this aspect that was the party. Seemed to be just a bit of fanfare, that there's this wind coming in, but you notice that as we now pull away from the party, we're now high up in at the outcropping of these petals, and you can see them bending under a torrent of wind that is flowing through the prairie and in channels, and some so strong, and this one specifically so strong that it blows all the petals off of the moon petal, and then and then revealing that there was a guy siphoning moon petal oil from it, and then even that guy gets blown away, and the just leaves this husk of the center part of a moon petal flower, and just shaken behind the party as they continue to talk, and also like a little bit brace themselves in this heavy wind that's been picking up during the conversation between Beignet and Hobbs. Then, as we come to the edge of the prairie, where you see an outcropping of hollowed, collapsed trees, and there's all kinds of it's still rich and golden and shimmering and warm here, and further out you can see forest that are flush in the horizon beyond this outcropping of collapsed trees, and you guys are approaching, and there's a encounter of some kind. It's plopping as you guys enter the bit of this. There's a hollow wood that's being stepped out, and it's all brittle and easy to break beneath the weight of the critters. People roll. The elder bird turns and says, This is all brittle here. Be careful. You don't want to. The forest is so old in this part that even the ground that we walk on is the fallen trees of the forest that came before it, and you don't want to fall in and get lost in the previous forest to this one, or more colloquially known as the Forgotten Forest below.
Anybody who cannot fly, please take precaution.
That is excellent advice. And does this remind you of the time when Bergek fell down trying to get a trident out of the ceiling?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Well, I guess if there's any fumbling, any of those prone to fumbling, I can take you on my back and carry the smaller folk across, I guess.
I'd take you up on that offer, but I go it alone, and you really showed me up there last time in front of my old man, and I've got something to prove. And this swine character he's very indignant with his hoof on his hip as he takes a big step forward on into this part of this old forest of stork, and he gets a 9, and it starts to crack, and cracks are sent up and along in different directions that creak and shift, and you can actually see these hollow stumps that are in the distance. Some are taller than ones that are the ones to the west are taller than the ones to the right, and so many creaks and cracks and echoey creaks and cracks happen that are deep below that shift the weight of the terrain around you, and the ones to the west are now higher and taller than the ones to the east, and it seems to be because of a chain reaction of creaks and cracks and shiftings.
Beignet will try to grab Chuggums out of the predicament.
All right. How is Beignet doing this with the hooves situation?
Using prowess, will try to go in and just like nimbly grab a piece of the Chuggums, whether it be like the tail or like a piece of fur,
With the teeth?
like plucking. Yeah, with the teeth.
Yep. Roll a dexterity to Chuggums. Chuggums at no contest, so that's 10 or higher.
It's a 17.
Yeah, you pluck Chuckums right out of this this brittly area, and Chuckums is his foot hoof where he already stepped was already inside of, and as you pluck, you notice that the floor around it like ripples upwards and then shatters and leaves this hole that this strange electrical particles raise out of and then dissipate in the air above, and this above under forest air.
I'll set Chuggums down on my back and be like, if you're going to be incompetent, just don't be incompetent and just stay on my back for now.
I apologize. Listen, I just had something to prove back there with I've been a loner my whole life, and I've been and then I really embarrassed myself back at Natalia's, and then I had a moment of trying to reconnect with the old man, and I put myself to shame in that bit of business too, and I apologize, Ben-Hur. It's my fault. I put her there. Let bygones be bygones. Let's bury these throwing hatchets that you have sprawling about.
Just stop being incompetent and take this time to think rationally, and then when you feel like it, prove yourself. Right now you're just being a nuisance, but who knows, you could change. That is yet to be seen. But until then, you are under my care, so I will do what it takes to protect you. But do try to buck up by then.
I will try to buck up, and I will prove myself. I'll prove myself to you, and I'll prove myself to my dad over there, and I'll prove myself to my dad over in danger.
Shut up. Yeah, you should prove yourself too. Just do it. Stop rambling.
Now, children, once again, I must implore you to leave the bickering aside and follow one of the main tenets of Children of Hobbes, which is to be best. And that means be kind to each other.
Chuggums, you're gonna roll a intelligence check, and he got a 6, and he's like, I know exactly what everybody wants me to do, and I know, and I'm gonna do right by everybody, He gives.
Oh, Chuggums, you don't need to define yourself by how others view you. You need to find places where you are able to contribute value to the world and then contribute value there. Not, oh, you're too young. You'll get it someday.
He's gonna roll another intelligence, and he got a 5. So yeah, value and yeah, definitely. I'm gonna the world. I'm gonna value.
Please try not to hurt yourself while thinking. It's embarrassing to watch and listen to.
And yeah, Chugum, he blushes again, and he puts on a thinking face, and eyes you guys like. And even under his breath, he's like, I get you guys. I understand. And
Unrelated, it seems like it would be difficult to cross this expanse if only we had that magnificent Gerald, the wood elf monk, with us with his rope. If only.
To laugh, but you said magnificent and Gerald in the same sentence. I'm sorry, continue, Reginald.
That's
Sorry.
literally all I had because there's nothing else to say about Gerald. He is magnificent, full stop, and he has rope, full stop. That is his character as I've seen it.
I'm sorry, I also have rope. Just, it's on my saddle. Oh my gosh. Rope and magnificent in the same sentence. Oh, these are the times.
Now then, shall we just run straight across this treacherous terrain? I'm up for it if you are.
I think we need to be more cautious rather than... I mean, I am fast enough to overcome any obstacle, but if we... if the slower, non-flying, short-legged folk try to...
Stop looking at me in the eyes when you say that.
It was not intentional.
Okay.
You are just the shortest and the non-flyingest and the slowest.
I'd like to roll to Harumph.
all right, roll Harumph.
Natural 2.
Yeah, you're not joined in this.
Do you need water?
Shame covers Reginald's face. Laura, I'm sorry I'm doing this to your character's pet. We got to go through layers here, sorry.
What we got here? The elder bull bird is like, this is a predicament and a half, if I say so. Normally, when I travel this far, I'll set markers for myself so I know where to step, and she's going to take a gander. Let me just take a gander here, and she's looking about 18. Yeah, you see, there's a big mark and on one of these hollow trees, and she's like, oh, this way, and she safely starts clapping on over in that direction with advantage on her dexterity, as this is familiar, tried and true ground. And 16 on the first one, and yeah, you see she's pretty far out into this. Like, if this was the actual thicket of the forest itself and not this collapsed wood, she'd be disappeared, but you can see her over the collapsed trees and stuff. And she gestures one of her spindly knees, and she's like, "Come on over this way."
Do we clearly see her?
Yeah.
Ah, over there! I see with my keen owl eyes.
As you command, ye who came from nothing, formed only by the power of your will. And Reginald starts taking off in that direction.
All right. Everybody roll dexterity with advantage as you take a footstep in that direction, and it's not nearly as goopy and crinkly, but it's still quite crinkly.
12.
Yes, you make it on over, and you step on these things that are these bundles of leaves that are all brittle, and but it doesn't collapse beneath you, and you make it on over to this old pleased old bird.
Beignet got 15 with Chuggums on their back.
Beignet's just trotting on through, going over these collapsed tree here and there, and making on over to this elderly bird, as well as Hobbs, and they're at the base of one of these fallen trees, but it seems to be it seems to be larger and more steady and sturdy than the leaning over ones around it and stuff.
Reginald started taking off in the wrong direction at first, and then turned around, and in what can only be described as like a figure skater on ice doing triple axels and like spinning around as he goes. He can almost see like ethereal owl wings come out from the side as he makes his way there. I got a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Oh yeah. It sends the one, you stepped in the wrong direction first, and it's happened to be right where Chuggums had stepped earlier, and that sends this whole area just collapsing in a rivulet pattern immediately, one after another. But then in that rhythm, you turn and go down the path that everyone else went down, dancing underneath the rhythm of this collapsing forest floor, and you make it on over. In the party, you see Reginald in this ballet towards you guys, as behind Reginald the forest floor falls and collapses behind him, and as he makes it over to you, there's just destruction and collapsed stuff all around.
I also believe that when
And
Reginald...
elegant.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to just say, destructive and elegant. I'm beginning to like you a bit more, Reginald.
Reginald nods his head, and you see that somewhere along the line, he's picked up a rose and just has it between his teeth like an Olympic medal figure skater.
Very
Hobbs is heartwarmed seeing his children getting along.
You guys, we've called too much attention to ourselves. This is not good. She puts her ear to the side of the this big hollow tree next to her, and she's like, there's activity. we we're in danger. And as she says that, from the calmness of the collapsed ground into this forgotten forest below, you hear the breaking of long since broken trees, and the snapping of petrified limbs of said forgotten broken trees. And there is you see this like zebra printed fur tail whip around in the distance, and a bunch of bark explode into a bunch of different directions, and the elder bird is like, skedaddle, and starts running with crackly knees. Natural 20, she's gone. Yeah, she runs directly up this petrified tree, that this kind of big sturdy petrified tree that she ended up next to. And yeah, she just ran vertically. It was quite a feat, and she is up it really far. And roll initiative.
Sometimes I think I'm creating my own characters, but I'm pretty convinced that my dice make all my characters the same. It's just like this hope that they can accomplish so much, and then a natural 1.
Yeah, but also a 20.
20. Yeah,
If
it happens
anything
sometimes.
evens out a 1, it's got to be a 20.
And honestly, I do love I love it when a natural 1 shows up.
Oh yeah. They're
Good.
fun.
They keep showing up for you.
Yes, I love it so much. That's why I'm getting a hammer, and it's not for anything, not to crush a dice or anything. Celebrate. One does with hammers. I am excited to see Hobbs warp space-time, though.
Yeah, how do you do that?
That's a spell, right?
Warp space time.
Like, Bob actually messaged me before the show and was like, "Hey, Chris, just in case someone asked, warp space-time is totally a spell. It has an ongoing effect, and it means you can do whatever you want with space or time." I trust him.
Makes
Is that
sense.
what warp means? That you can do whatever you want with?
I think so. That's what he said. I mean, if you don't want to trust Bob, that's okay.
Yeah. And that puts us at Beignet. You're quick to the jump immediately as this elderly bird jettisons up this a complete vertical up this tree.
Okay, and then do I see a creature?
Yeah, roll perception as you look out over the collapsed, this canyon of petrified forest below you, with that's leaking electrical particles upwards. And what's that roll? Yeah,
15 perception.
you see there is this creature that mostly has a very pale fur, but has these deep blue forearms that are kind of flappy, and big yellow eyes, and tiny ears on the top of its head, and roll knowledge arcana.
Okay. 13.
It's you recognize it as much as it looks like it looks kind of like a grizzly lemur from the material plane, but it's all crazy colored and has it's got a shiny color scheme. It's all shimmery and shiny and different colors.
Okay. In that case, I'll use my communication to say to Chuggums, like, get off me if you know what's good for you and get to safety. And then I want to, like, sort of shake him off.
All right. Chuggums is going to you shake off Chuggums easily enough. And yeah, he just kind of plops. He's gonna roll dexterity to catch himself. He gets 9. He plops on the ground, a little surprised and a little concerned about what's going on.
My movement to get as close to the beast as I can.
All right. Yeah, it is. It seems to be a drop off. It's a canyon below. It's like there's this whole level of the surface land that was a whatever the word is for veneer. It was like a veneer surface that has collapsed, and below that is like as tall as a tree is, like 30 feet below is this other ground of long of this old forest from before the second forest on top of it. And so Beignet is 30 feet above this older forest canyon below, and there's this crazy creature waving around its crazy tail that's knocking into trees and things and moving along. It's 60 feet out, but 30 feet down. How's Beignet getting down 30 feet to approach this animal? There are trees that are kind of stacked on top of each other, and there's like a network, but they look kind of tricky. Beignet could try, like you see a pathway that is vertical, but it looks like there's lots of toe trippers and stacked trees, and even those look kind of brittle. And then there's another way. It looks like just a slide. It's since all of this collapse has happened, tons of leaves are filling in this area and torrenting. There's like a waterfall of autumn leaves pouring from the level that the party's on down into this canyon area. Beignet sees that a safer route of navigating this. There's one route of navigating this thicket of collapsed trees, and then there's also this waterfall of autumn leaves that you could take your chances with. That'd be faster.
I'll take my chances with the waterfall.
All right. Roll dexterity at 13.
Okay, is this a dex save or just dexterity?
This is dexterity as you're navigating it actively. Oh no, yeah, you guys watch as Beignet attempts to ride this waterfall of autumn leaves down, but then before it even goes over the side, Beignet is taken by the sheer torrent of the autumn leaf fall, and is tumbling before it even goes over the edge, and is lost in this torrent. The goes over the edge, and bludgeoning damage is only 3, but also you're all discombobulated, and you're currently feel like you're deep under this autumn leaves. It's like being underwater, but instead of fish you see squirrels, and instead of seashells you see mulch of petrified but yeah, there's all these squirrels that are also caught up in this that you are eye to eye with, but you're down under in the canyon, but you're also underwater and all discombobulated. That puts us at Hobbs.
Did I watch Beignet just go underwater?
Yes. Under leaves, but yes.
Under leaves. Sorry. Yeah. Oh no. Beignet, let me see. Was that close to the creature that's all different colors? That's all cool and shimmery?
That's immediately 30 feet down, and then you don't know exactly how far this current has dragged her, but the leaves stretch out towards that grizzly, that fey grizzly lemur.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Gust in that direction.
All right.
In the direction that I just saw Beignet fall into.
All right. Cast Gust.
Okay, it's a cantrip. It's instantaneous, but let's see. I guess there's no creature in that area, but you create a small blast of air capable of moving one object that is neither held nor carried, and that weighs no more than 5 pounds. I'm trying to just move all of the leaves away.
Yeah. Then roll just to roll. What it'll be is your timing where you think Beignet happens to be at this moment as you cast Gust upon Beignet, and that'll be 9 or higher. They could be, I'd say dexterity, as you're like tracking Beignet, and you're like, if she went under at that moment and these leaves are moving this time, then I cast Gust this direction and we should be good. That's my thought process. What'd you roll?
13.
Yeah, you cast Gust, and you see Beignet go under and then over the edge, and you see all of these leaves spreading out, but then you see that the one particular color leaf of it's like a maple, and you cast that you saw at the top happens to be at a certain part at the bottom, and you cast Gust on it, and all the leaves that are around Beignet explode off and blow around this canyon, creating this kind of leaf vortex, and but there's no more leaves around Beignet and the squirrels that were also caught up next to Beignet.
Beignet! Are you okay?
Yes, it will be.
One of the squirrels also is like, I'm all right, but that's not my name. And it turns to another squirrel and checks if it tries to do medicine check to revive it. 14, it stabilizes that squirrel, and they share an impassioned they grab each other's forearms, and he pulls it up, and it's standing next to that squirrel. And then we have you still have movement and stuff.
I'm going to just start flying down towards Beignet.
Very cool. Yeah, that's easy enough. It's just I'll say 30 feet down and then 15 feet out, and there's you've changed the correction. You've changed the course of where this river, it's forked from the flow that it was going, and so there's like a pile of leaves going on either side of you guys now, but not onto you guys. And then we have Reginald. There's there's a torrent of leaves falling into this canyon below, and then also there's this grizzlymer that's tearing about down there, colliding with trees as it moves forward towards you guys, and the party, and you've seen this whole thing happen. What's Reginald doing?
Reginald has seen Beignet plummet down. He's seen Hobbs start flying down after casting a very magnificent gust of wind. So Beignet is going to charge forward, leap off, and try to land on this opalescent horror. Assuming that Reginald, that's the character I'm playing, that Reginald has monk abilities.
All right, it is 60 feet out, but 30 feet down. So in order to reach it, I'd say you'd have to run around the perimeter of it. But as we know, the perimeter of you'd be walking away from the allotted, properly vetted, safe ground in order to skirt around the canyon's edge. So that'll be tricky, but you can run around there and then jump off of it onto this creature that might be the as Reginald looks around. If you're trying to get a vertical jump from the top directly onto it, if you want to approach it directly, there's still the torrent of leaves, and then the thicket of collapsed trees. But you can run around skirt around the side if you want to stay on the top level until you jump on it. But you have you have to be able to move over 60 feet to
if Reginald has key points, Reginald will spend a key point for Step of the Wind.
All right. You run against all of this untrained or unvetted ground, and Reginald's moving through this thicket of now collapsing. And as Reginald steps on one tree, it collapses, and Reginald jumps to another part that's collapsing slower than the part that collapsed under him, and is like navigating this collapsing forest floor as for 60 feet as he approaches this this lemur, this grizzly lemur that is you can hardly even see it, as it's just this blur of incandescent colors, and you jump onto it and roll. Are you trying to grapple it?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
trying to like land on it and like bring it to its knees, shouting out, "Be still, blurring beast, be still."
Right. Roll a strength contest with the grizzly lemur.
I don't think you can beat a 6.
It has 8. Read 'em and weep
Okay.
as the grizzly lemur you try to grab onto it, and you
I have no opposable thumbs.
you put your hooves onto its back, and it's moving around so fast and whipping its tail around. It rolls forward onto its back and leaves you standing where behind it now, as it's in between you and Beignet and Hobbs, and it's kind of rolling, and its tail's moving around crazy, and destroys this impossibly old tree that is next to it. It's moving around, and you used movement and communication with Colin, and then this where our we have Chuggums. Chuggums is going to weigh the advice that he's had, so he's gonna have roll intelligence. He got a 2, and he's like,
But does he keep getting worse?
everyone wants me to prove myself, and I'm gonna do just that. And Chuggums is going to try to run. He's gonna try to run down the thicket of trees and stuff. So he's gonna roll dexterity, and he got a 5. He tumbles, and he trips immediately before he even gets to the thicket of trees. He trips over himself, approaching the thicket of trees, and tumbles all the way down them for bludgeoning damage. He has a big lump on his head, and he is going to he's just at the bottom of it. He's on his butt and rubbing his head, while the lemur sees that there's he makes a lot of noise as he's bouncing around and making creaks in this old wood and stuff, and then plops on the ground in front of the grizzly lemur that looks out in front with these big yellow eyes, and then it spins around its head one way and the body the other way, and its tail wildly slaps the ground and jettisons itself forward towards the pop, and it screams in this incredibly high-pitched scream that hardly resonates with any animal that doesn't hear high-pitched things, and it's like, and it's pulling itself. It moves at 45 feet, so it is 15 feet away from our bud Chuggums, and it is trying to Chuggums is going to do a wisdom saving throw. He got a natural 1. Chuggums is his eyes literally look like the spirals in opposite directions of this grizzlymer, this fey grizzlymer, and are also the same color scheme. Chuggum's eyes. He's sitting with a big bonk on his head, and he seems to be enthralled by this grizzlymer. And we have Benyon.
Does Reginald get an attack as it runs away from him?
Yes, you are entitled to a womp.
I will attempt to womp the 24.
That womps.
All right, I will roll womp damage.
All right.
8.
Yes. It's.
I said, be still, foul beast. Opalescent oaf.
Yeah. You knock into how's what's describe this bonk. It'll be towards like the back side of this. What weapon are you using? Or
Unarmed hoof.
very cool. Yeah, you give him a big monk kick. That's quite impressive, and it leaves
After
a
he's
bruise.
tossed me off his back, Reginald stands up and kicks backwards into him,
Yes.
slightly propelling him forward more.
Yes. And that puts them 5 feet closer, as now he's 10 feet from.
Successful bull rush.
Yes. And that puts us at Beignet. This creature is around just 15 feet from you, but you are in like a triangle situation from you guys, you and Hobbs, this Grizz Lemur, and the Chuggums, who seems to be enthralled.
Okay. I'll use my bonus action to rage, and then I'm gonna go up to the Grizzlymer and try to. Oh wait, Beignet will reach back and brandish a great axe in her mouth and go up and slice at this Grizzlymer. Okay, so here's the first attack. It's a 17 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay.
As the AC is 13.
Okay, 15 slashing plus an additional. That's how it works. It's if it says +2 to melee damage, that's to the actual damage, not like to attack, right? When you're raging. Okay, so then it's gonna be 17 slashing on that first attack, and then I'll do the second attack right now. Oh, it's a crit fail.
All right.
For the second attack.
The like a natural 1.
Yeah, natural 1.
Yeah, the second one, first one, you go to bite the axe and you make purchase and you land it directly into the shoulder blade of this lemur, and one of his long limbs goes totally limp, and you see it's moving around now as willy-nilly and wild as the tail itself. And then with that confidence, you don't even look when you go back to grab the other axe, but you chomp down and you chip one of Beignet's tooth on an actual axe. So that is what's the damage for the axe?
It's a D12. 1d12.
Yeah, for 7 chip tooth damage.
Do I get, if it's bludgeoning, I get resistance because I'm racing?
Very cool. Yeah. And your resistance.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, the enamel of the regiment, the yeah, hygiene, the sheer hygiene of beignet has ensured that the enamel is so strong around beignet's teeth, and yeah, that they're resistant to this chip tooth damage. And
Cool. That's all. That's it for me.
all right, and that puts us at
I believe it's Hobbs' turn.
yes.
All
That
right.
is Hobbs looks around at as there is a brief lull, and then says that to yeah, one of the squirrels, yeah, the two squirrels that they look up from each other at Hobbs as Hobbs speaks to himself, declaring that he believes it's his turn.
Hobbs is gonna go like, no, normally, as my own follower of a philosophy that claims that violence is only used when necessary, I, whatever, and then casts Witch Bolt.
All right. And what are the mechanics?
Witch Bolt, concentration, casting time on action, range 30 feet. Oh, am I within 30 feet?
Yes, you're 15 feet away from it.
Okay. A beam of crackling energy lances out toward the creature. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature. On a hit, the target takes 1d12 lightning damage. And on each of your turns for the duration, you can use your action to deal 1d12 lightning damage to the target automatically until the spell ends. If you cast it at a higher level, you add an additional 1d12.
All right. It's going to, it gets a 6, and it's yeah, it seems like the lightning as you
I have to roll with my with my spell attack.
as Hobbs waves his wings in a magical manner, and then flaps them, casting this witch bolt. It all of the electrical particles that are raising from the aura of this area, this canyon, are culminating around Hobbs, and also the line in between Hobbs and the grizzlymer.
I rolled an 18.
Mm-hmm. And they all kind of collect in until there's a beam of this electrical aura in between Hobbs, and this like static electricity between Hobbs and this grizzlymer, and there's just this beam of electricity that witch bolt is sent down, and then collides into the grizzlymer, who yeah, roll damage.
That's 15 points of lightning damage.
All right.
Wow.
That cackling beam is going to be there for as long as I have my concentration, up to 1 minute. So if I just choose to use it next time, then it's going to keep taking lightning damage.
All right. Yeah, there's just this this crazy electrical beam that's jettisoning through this grizzlymer that seems to distract it from focusing on or looking at Reginald. It's aggravated it as as its crazy big yellow eyes are now it's like jiggling. It's like "Rah!" It's still super high pitched as it's yelling, but it's all electrocuted and stuff, and it turns on towards Beignet and Hobbs, and tries to give the people's elbow to Beignet. I roll twice. The last 20 that I rolled was an 18. I'm gonna take the lowest. 12 beat your AC.
I have a 14 AC, so it does not.
All right. Yeah, you dodge out of the way, you roll out of the way, and then yeah, this creature that's like bleeding from its face and is screaming in this high pitched roar, and then Radcliffe is
Oh my
like he turns over to in between the he moves in between Hobbs and this creature, and prepares to use his own body to interrupt any kind of another witch bolt thingy. And Hobbs, you can see eye to eye. Chuggum's his eyes. Roll perception.
Sorry, who's rolling perception?
Hobbs, as Chuggums has walked in between the beam of electricity in between Hobbs and the Grizz lemur, and
That's only 9 points.
yeah, there's so much electricity and light in between you and him, and then especially behind him with this popping electrocuted Grizz lemur, and that it's you see the silhouette of Chungus, or yeah, that can't be his name. Chuggums, yeah, that's it. You see the silhouette of Chuggums has walked in between you and the Grizz lemur, interrupting this beam, but you can't make out anything other than his silhouette, so you don't see his eyes or nothing. And that puts us at the elderly bird up top. They're gonna try something. You see, if anyone's perceptive, they see like motion, but they're very high up. They're probably with 60 plus 30. They're like 90 feet up. Yeah, there's a commotion in the petrified tree high above you guys, and 10 random acorns, these oversized hollow acorns are falling haphazardly. Everybody roll dexterity. Radcliffe.
24.
I mean, what's this guy?
Also, I need to ask a question.
Yes.
Because I feel like I need to eat some crow. All right. Was your pop's name Radcliffe instead of Reginald? Because when Skylar said that a second ago, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. For all we know, Reginald, or he may have had this name or whatever, but then it's definitely canon that he's been calling himself Reginald.
He has.
That might be his middle name. It might be all the only.
It's
canon-
what Remus used to call him Reginald.
Yeah, this is the first.
Radcliffe is maybe his family name.
Yes.
Reginald Radcliffe, or Radcliffe Reginald.
But yeah, I
Remus
felt
was definitely an aloof lover and never actually he kept misnaming him Reginald or something, and Radcliffe took that as a
that's so sad.
yeah, took that as a term of endearment and
Classic pet name.
yes, and carried it with him. Because the only canon before this was just just the stating of his name, but he never said it himself until now. And now, the creature gets a 1, and a big giant acorn collapses on him, dealing a lot of damage for that. Another 5. And did anybody get less than a 10 on their dexterity?
Was this a dex save or just dexterity?
Dexterity saving throw.
Okay, then I get advantage. So I'm gonna roll again.
Very cool.
Oh no, okay. With advantage, it's still 7.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You just dodged this loose, completely dislocated arm's elbow. But then immediately after that, where you stepped in place to dodge that elbow, a giant acorn, the size of a horse, lands on you, and it does 3 damage. It's hollow and it breaks through, but it kind of lands around you, and it kind of like being stuck in a barrel. You're a little stuck in this big hollow acorn.
Hey, but what type of damage? Because I got resistances.
Bludgeoning, as it is a blunt object, so it hardly does a lot. Yeah, and that puts us at Beignet. You're in this the world has just gotten a lot smaller and darker and smells like wood grain and seed.
Sorry, real quick. I think we skipped over Reginald Radcliffe.
Oh, you're right. Reginald Radcliffe. We skipped over you. You've what was happening right before this?
Bolt was hitting it. Acorns coming down. Reginald Radcliffe plops on over and just slides in with a couple hooves and tries to kick at it.
Yes. It is
19 and then a 9.
the 19 hits, but then the other one misses as it seems to react to the first hit and move out of the way as you come around for the roundhouse.
Perfect. So that first one is 8 damage.
Yep.
Then
When you
bonus.
kick it slumps. That side of its hit slumps down. It looks like it's really worse for wear right now.
Bonus snout attack.
All right.
16.
That hits. Yep. You
5 damage.
9. Yeah. And you dislocate its tummy with a snout attack, and it's all loose, and it only really is pulling itself around with one of its arms, and its head is still rotating in the opposite direction of its body, and you still have communication as well as movement.
As he runs in, he's gonna, as he heard Hobbes kind of pontificating on the tenets of being a child of Hobbes, he's gonna shout, Excuse me, Hobbs. Does this mean that you, Hobbs, are a child of Hobbs?
Of course.
None of that happens. Reginald Radcliffe's head explodes before he gets there.
All right.
I'm kidding.
And
Yeah, that's it.
psychic. Let's see.
Disadvantage on every roll for the rest of his life.
Oh, not disadvantage. It can open up your minds to new things or new perspectives or whatever, and therefore it could aid that. But,
Okay, so you guys just hear the sound of like a paradigm shifting without a clutch, just like this grinding noise emanating from Radcliffe's skull.
yes, and that's where Beignet. It's very dark and it's close and it's all made out of wood. I think that's what acorns are made out of, and it smells like acorn.
Is there an exit if I turn around?
Well, it's only it seems like it just broke around you. It's about the size of you. It's like being in a barrel or something, but it's an acorn.
Okay, but I can't see like any exit or anything.
Only because when you turn your head, you kind of bump against the other side of the acorn.
Okay,
It's
then
like it's on the top.
I'll use one attack to try to get out of this barrel of sorts.
All right.
Okay.
Its AC is 8.
11.
Yeah, you give a big a slash, and and this acorn it cuts in half and drips off one side, and then the other side kind of levitates off into one direction. It's that's what happens.
And and then now I can see my surroundings.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna sprint towards that lemur thing
Yes.
and use my second attack to try to hit it.
All right.
And that attack is gonna be a 19.
Very cool.
Nice.
And it's gonna be a 6, and I'm raging, so an additional 2 for a total of 8 damage.
All right. And with that, the lemur, you slash into it, and it's like coughing up blood and stuff, and it's going to it's not its turn, so it's actually just going to just stand there bleeding, and it looks very worse for wear, and it also looks like it's no longer trying to the confidence and aggressiveness has definitely changed in it, and it is Hobbs's turn.
So, did the acorns that were coming down from the trees, did I register, or did Hobbs register where they were coming from?
Roll perception as Hobbs takes a gander upwards.
7.
You see a big acorn coming at you.
I'm going to cast catapult on that acorn.
All right.
Hold on. Is the acorn between 1 and 5 pounds?
It's hollow, so even though it's very big, I'd say it's about 5 pounds.
Okay, then I'm going to choose that acorn, as long as it's within range, which is 60 feet. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in a direction you choose.
Yep.
So I'm going to say in the direction that is opposite that of it coming down on me, I'm going to send that acorn flying back.
All right. Roll. Or do you don't have to roll anything, right?
No, I send it. It goes 90 feet in that direction, but if it's going to hit a creature, the creature must make a dex saving throw
All
of
right.
13.
It's going to make a You see this this thing just about to hit you. It like almost comes up to your nose, but then you catapult it forward, and it jettisons directly over uh, Chuggum's and colliding into this this grizzlymer on the head and whacks it unconscious and yeah, it looks like its head makes a weird movement, but it stops rotating, and the grizzlymer collapses. You're out of initiative. Everybody, it's the simmering of the electricity in this area cool. So instead of flowing upwards, it starts to go the opposite way, downwards.
Oh, see, now I did not want to have to do that. But if you attack myself or my mates here, other children of Hobbs, you shall be dealt with.
Well, you know that it's dead, so it can't hear you, but it's good for us to know that too.
See,
This Children of Hobbs is still a fake cult, but I agree with the sentiment.
Beignet, we shall have a long discussion about this at a later time. Right now, we must ensure this child of Hobbs who has been taken ill and or not coming back, we must ensure that they are properly disposed of. And then Hobbs is gonna go loot its body.
Roll investigation.
Investigating a lemur that I killed. 5.
Oh, with a 5, there's you find yourself you get lost in its incandescent locks of fur, and you kind of forget about what you were really going after to begin with.
Everyone, come look at his magnificent fur. You get just lost in it.
Reginald Radcliffe looks up. Reginald has been chewing on innards.
Oh, the innards of this creature? Of this unconscious creature?
Yeah.
All right.
He's a pig. He eats flesh, right?
Roll to hit as you penetrate into its tummy and pull out its innards.
12.
12 doesn't beat its 13.
That's quite
AC.
slippery, this intestine.
You guys notice that Reginald is eating this creature's stomach.
Reginald.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin, so I'm not even gonna start.
Is this not what you do with your defeated foes?
As
We take their strength into ourselves.
There's you guys notice that among this sloopy slop of innards that Reginald's been perusing, there's a big sack of looks like a stomach or something, but there's 2 pokey parts, and looks like a hoof here, and trying to stick out of it and stuff, and it's going But
And with my ass.
yeah, you give it a big make a attack against the third yeah you
As
give
a
it
giant.
you give it a whack and it just doesn't really cut the as the AC is 13 for this creature even
An
in death.
attack
Oh, what?
second attack is 18.
Yeah, the first one, it's doesn't make purchase, and it just whacks this creature that's inside, and that has less than 10 AC, and it lets out a and it immediately rights itself in the right direction. It was upside down, and now it's right side up, and it also has a big lump that grows opposite of the two tusks that go downwards, but all of this is covered in the stomach flesh of this creature, so you don't really see it. But then with Beignet's sure cut of the axe, it also splits this the stomach lining of this grizzlymer, and one slides off to the left, and one impossibly just starts floating off in the opposite direction, off of this creature, and Reginald, you recognize this to be none other than Remus, and it's his slack jawed smile of his tusks that go downwards, and you'd recognize him anywhere.
Come to me, come. Get out of that slop and fill yourself to fullness. Oh, Beignet, thank you so much for saving my dear love. How did you get here to this plane?
Oh, you're Reginald. I recognize a face like
Oh, God, yes.
so handsome anywhere, and yes. Oh, I've had quite of a go at it ever since I left the island I stayed at, and I've since I've remarried and had a son whom I abandoned. I abandoned my son in the prairie, as I've abandoned my husband on the island. I
thought you were leaving the island for work. You told me it was for work. You said you would be back. You didn't say you were abandoning.
I've gotta work. I gotta work it and work.
Oh, I see you've been working it. If you've remarried and had a son in another plane, into plane a hussy. And I gave myself.
Reginald.
Not in front of mixed company.
I always know I've been a lone wolf, and I goes it alone. Like, that's what I always said. That was our wedding vows. I told you that.
You were saying that you were done being alone.
Oh.
You weren't.
That is true. I was. Roll charisma as you recollect. What was that?
8. Reginald Radcliffe is just destroyed, and now thinks of Mai as a savior for saving him from waiting around for someone who never cared for him the way that he cared.
Aww.
And the bird, the elderly bird, it comes down on a acorn that cracks on the ground, and then plops out, and it's like there, Chuggums, it's your pops, it's your father, and the pops is gonna wait. Chuggums looks over and his eyes are still all kind of round and circly and stuff, and he's looking around, and he's like, oh, I've no, my father's dead, and he's right there in front of me, and that Remus is eyes the lad. He says, I'm eyeing you, lad. That's no way to talk about your father. And the Chuggums is like, no, not you, silly old fool. I mean my father. You've and he runs past the Remus and starts to try to stuff the entrails back into this grizzlemur, and he seems convinced, and he's like, look what you've done to my beautiful pops, my beautiful what's the opposite of pride and joy, or the dad version of that? And he's gonna try to do a medicine check as he gets all the he uses his hooves to get his entrails back in. Medicine 17 or higher. It fails, and in frustration, he collapses to the floor, and the elderly bird approaches from behind and puts his claw on him, and he says, that grizzlemur, it can't be your dad. That grizzlemur is probably twice, if not three, it's twice the size of you. It's rolling intelligence, the bird is 15. Yeah, it seems to be like about twice the size, and you couldn't have come from that grizzlemur. It has opposable thumbs. Look at you. You don't your hooves. That's not your dad. And the Chuggums is gonna roll intelligence. He gets a 4, and he's like, that's impossible. And what is everybody doing right now?
And Beignet, let's return back to the stables. I can't be here anymore. It's heartbreaking. Beignet, you were right. I should have just listened to you all along, and then I wouldn't have gotten into this mess.
Yes, right, first of all. But this, I can't stand by and watch this stupidity. You, Chuggums, what do you think it means to be a parent or a father? You're just putting it all in genetics? Has not this bird thing been watching over you and caring for you? Why are you putting all your stock in a creature we slaughtered?
Roll persuasion, or you can decide. Do you want roll persuasion.
Okay. 16.
This Chuggums, he assesses this canyon of electrical petrified collapsed forest on top of the Forgotten Forest below, that he finds him. I'm on recollecting and where I find myself. I know how I got here, and I know that that I got here from this elderly bird, who I apologize, I never got your name for as long as you've raised me, but I regret that, as I should put my weight of a familyhood onto those who've been around, and not pine after those who aren't, and like
Hearing that, Reginald Radcliffe just starts weeping.
like this Grizzlymer. I've rarely seen him, and the only time that I have, he's been hostile towards me. He's not the father I've been looking for, and putting my faith into, putting my into this Hobbs. It's this zealot into the zealots of this cult. That's not where my allegiance belongs, and neither with you, Sir Remus. It's you haven't you haven't been the father that this elderly bird has been to me, and that's why, elderly bird, will you be my papa? And the elderly bird, he's going to roll.
Hobbs is gonna go, you may reject the teachings of the children of Hobbs, but the children of Hobbs will never reject you, son.
Okay, so roll persuasion as as a contest against this elderly bird.
Oh, 17.
Elderly bird goes 8. He's like, that I thought I was culminating in on something there, I gotta tell you, but this Hobbs guy makes a lot of sense, and I gotta tell you, I feel like a brand new swine, and it's like I'm reborn again under and my father is Hobbs, as I am a child of no father except for the father of Hobbs, and
You are, son.
and that is that he declares declaratively as the creatures of the forest, like those squirrels, come out sheepishly, as well as the what's this? What are you? Like rabbits and all kinds of forest creatures come out sheepishly, and as Chuggums is giving this long knot, and it's all pointed. It's not like meandering, and it's not stalling out, and it doesn't lose momentum and then it's just like a ramp upwards that really gets the attention of all of these, and holds the attention, and deserves to take up as much space, hot air, as he's blowing. And by paying it forward with the the what he's learned here today under the children of Hobbs, and what did he do? Yeah, all these forest creatures are enamored with this as he preaches the gospel of the children of Hobbs, and it moves the forest creatures so much that this tainted and petrified forest of below seems to take on the teachings, and the whispers are repeated. You can hear them repeated through the echoing of the wood around you guys as you stand in the canyon, and it spreads like wildfire in a fallen wood. The word of Hobbs.
As it should.
And as well, the old bird says, that's that. It's always it's good. It's good raising the little squirt, but it's always time to let him go and see him on their way. It seems like he's got a good thing going here, and it's all thanks to you guys. I thought that I was always going to be having to I've got to renovate the prairie, the whole thing. I'm gonna make my own. I gotta find new things to look after and watch grow and take care of. A whole new adventure for me. But I'm past all that adventure. And thank you guys so much for helping my I never really did quantify that. I suppose he's he's under my wing.
All you need to know is that someone needed help and you showed up. That is what makes a true hero.
I could say the same about all of you. And he's letting out a laugh as Remus takes a is like, oh, all this gooey, touchy, lovey-feely stuff is I've never been good at it, but
yes, Remus, I know that you don't love me. You don't have to point out that you're incapable of love in general and that I was a fool for all those years.
I just wanted roll what is that? I guess he's going to roll for I guess charisma, compassion.
Have him roll for shame.
Okay. That is going to be
I think he gets a +10 to that roll.
Constitution, no +10. Natural 20. Yeah, he takes he is on, and as he hears his son preach and he looks into the tears of his husband's eyes, and he sees all of the forest creatures around, Remus's heart grows 2 sizes that evening, and a single tear spreads or drips out, and he just says, oh, Radcliffe, I'm sorry. I always called you Reginald. I always knew your name's Radcliffe. I couldn't let you get too close, and so I'd pretend that I couldn't remember your name, and always kept you at a hoof's distance, and I couldn't. It's not, and I apologize. I don't apologize for that. I couldn't commit. I apologize that I wasted your time in committing to you when I knew I couldn't.
You totally committed. We had a ceremony and everything.
We're technically still married, and I apologize for that. And
Oh, technically a bigamist.
yes, I apologize.
Anyway, Remus, too little, too late. Beignet, do you mind if I hop on? Reginald picks out some sunglasses and puts them on.
And he goes, not at all. This guy's an asshole. And then Beignet will accept Radcliffe on her back and then kick dirt at this scum pig.
Perfect.
This
Oh yeah, a flip of the big old peacock tail in his face.
and Radcliffe, yeah, he sees, looks over the peacock tails, and it's the sight that every breakup would ever want, and it's the person who they broke up with or whatever, looking up at them as between a veil of peacock feathers, as there's forest light haloing their silhouette, and lighting them ever so softly in their most flattering light, as the last time Reginald saw Remus, Reginald, you can see the regret and the mistake, and you can see his own, the heartbreaker's heart was broken. It grew twice the size for twice the fall.
That's what you get for abandoning me to another plane!
And he calls out as the party heads out and on Beignet, and back up the forest, back to the top side of the forest, and then onto where there's now this chanting of Hobbes, that sounds like the hooting words of knowledge that Hobbes had spoken, and but it's reiterated by squirrels and rabbits and other kinds of forest creatures, and in the distance as you guys enter the prairie and come back on all of this wind that has blown, as you come back to the prairie, you notice that all of the rich fields of tall moon petal flowers are completely they're blown away, like they're just the stems, and then the knotted middle part with the seeds barely, most seeds have been blown off too, and they're in the winds, and you guys come back in the nick of time as you enter the stables, and the sun rises just over the prairie, and then what are you guys doing as you guys enter the prairie, the stables?
Hobbs is just gonna go. My recommendation is to not alert the party to our departure for this evening.
Yeah, I was just tasked with keeping everyone safe, not telling my whole life. So, what's our business is our business. That's all I'm saying.
Beignet, you are quite a solid child of Hobbes.
No, your cult is fake. I am not a child of Hobbs. Do not loop me in. I am a steed of the House of Flimov. This is fake. You're not a cult leader, Hobbs.
So
That's that.
we shall welcome Hobbs into our hearts when we are prepared most.
Beignet looks at Radcliffe like, I can't with him. It's too much.
It's a lot, I know, but we're cool, right? Hobbs holds up a hoof.
Reginald,
Beignet nuzzles it like.
Oh, God. Yeah, sorry. I apologize. Radcliffe holds up a hoof for a hoof 5. Jesus.
there is all sorts of characters.
I'm taking over the character that you took over from Bershuk. Radcliffe is like, yes, well, he's a lot, but he means well. 5? That's really all I was going for with this whole thing, was to get a hoof 5.
You're gonna need to get off my back for me to give you a proper hoof 5.
Oh yeah, Radcliffe hops off, takes off the sunglasses, puts them away, never to be seen again, holds up a hoof.
Beignet puts her hoof up to do the hoof 5.
Hits Radcliffe's hoof. Radcliffe goes spinning backwards.
Yeah. Too much
Stands
power.
up. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
Great. Let's get some beauty sleep, shall we? Well, I don't know if any sleep can do anything for the way you guys look, but I need some rejuvenation.
A good ribbing. A good ribbing.
Children of Hobbs care not about their exterior. And then Hobbs closes his eyes.
Scurries back to his pen and nuzzles up against the wall and goes to sleep.
All right. And what's Beignet doing?
Sleeping. Well, actually, no. Beignet will actually keep watch because as a non-living creature, Beignet will just keep watch till she thinks to herself, I will keep watch over the children of Hobbs, but no one will.
And yeah, as you keep watch, as you go to keep watch, you look out the stable doors, and there's Amara. Now she just turned the corner, and you guys are eye to eye, and it's a warm greeting. And then all the other party members turn behind her, turn the corner of the stable door behind her, and enter the stable. And that is Beignet. What's Beignet do? What's Beignet doing?
She's gonna trot up to Amara and then like lay her head like on Amara's shoulder and like put all her weight on it. Like exhausted.
Be like, I had a hard day.
Yeah.
And we dolly back out of the back of the stable, as that we have this horse that's leaning over the shoulder of Amara, and during this time, yeah, we're still focused on the head of the horse, and we dolly back and we lift high above the stable and unveiling the whole entire town, which is pretty small, and then also the prairie beyond it, with the wind still ravishing, but like this time truly ravishing some entire stalks of moon petals. Not only are all their petals blown, but we see that the stems themselves are being lifted and thrown and rolled about the prairie by these winds, as we close another chapter of the Glowering Gloom Saga, the Critter Caper edition.
I love it.
So fun.
Oh, yeah.
meant well and then just went into the forest and killed some random creature.
Yeah.
That creature didn't really do anything to us.
He was killing humans.
If anything, it was trying to eat Radcliffe's ex, which was good. We found out. We should have just left it alone.
No, it was doing us a favor.
I'm sorry I made Radcliffe's ex a
So heartbreaking. I thought he had like a wonderful story and he was like a diplomat on the run. Like, no. He was abandoned.
But
He was
I
abandoned.
never knew I needed Laura as Hobbs. That
I love
was so
I love
good.
I just love cult leaders that have zero self-awareness.
Mhm.
Like the beignet is like, I'm not one of you. Like, of course, we're all one of us. I love it.
That's the blind I think it matches Hobbs' character because it's like blind confidence that that he's able to do it. It explains so much of the ways that he'll be sent on an impossible task, but then get a crazy high roll, and then it works for him. And so far, I've always imagined him being like this very nervous and not sure of himself little guy that's like, I guess I'll try, and then it just is like the luck of some kind of extra luck, but it's the he knows it the whole time. He's like, oh, of course I can do this Berserk. With Hobbs, anything can be done.
As long as you have faith.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking forward to the reveal of who the children of Hobbs actually follow, since Hobbs is a child of Hobbs.
Yes.
I think it might be one of those things where once you hit a certain level, you just become a Hobbs.
There's a Hobbs Prime out there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, now in the Hollowwood, between the old Stork Forest and the Winter Bog, there's another sect or branch that's being tent poled by someone who probably doesn't understand the teachings too well, as he rolled very low intelligence checks anytime Hobbs spoke to him, and he tried to understand, but he's still a zealot nonetheless. So there might be another strand of Hobbs, of the teaching.
Final battle of this campaign is the children of Hobbs as a whole army fighting the descendants of Hobbs as another whole army.
Yes. Or something.
Stargums was a mess.
Oh my gosh.
That was unexpected.
So
Unexpected.
That was great. Thank you for putting that together, Skylar.
Yeah, thank
anytime.
you.
Couldn't do it without you guys. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Always
you could.
big highlight of my week. Yeah, sorry
Super
being late and stuff. I was like, I can time this perfectly, and then it all fell apart.
fun. All good.
I'm trying to get into there's something called Draw Pile. Are you guys familiar with it?
Nope.
Pretty much all it is it's on the internet, and it's like a big board that it's pretty much like a drawing app online that everybody can draw the same picture together in real time at the same time. And if you guys wanted to do something with that, or hang out and bullshit on it and draw junk together and have fun, that's something that I'd like to do. But holler up. But also, I already take up so much of you guys' time every week. It's awesome, like the consistency with D&D. I don't want it to be like, okay, there's the whole Friday evening is gone, and then also whatever other. But if you guys want to hang out and draw sometime, I'm down.
Yeah. You are talking to
Same.
that has Amara, who's
Yes.
Amara Gigi.
I'm-
Sorry. Who's literally like an amazing artist. But
I
sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gigi, see how I draw.
I
Very
love
cool.
to draw, so yeah, I'm always down.
Hell yeah. Very cool.
I could describe it with words as we do it at the
Honestly, yeah. We could incorporate something with that, like if you describe certain concepts and then we draw it. I don't know. I think I can.
have zero drawing ability.
We'll make it like a game out of it or something. I'll organize something fun then, or like a little drawing game or.
My stick figure game is strong, so we could go that route.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks so much for playing, guys.
Thank you. Head off to bed.
All right. Have a great night.
Guys, have a nice week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Are we
Oh.
doing next week?
I'm doing next week, but also no stress whatsoever. If I'm just doing it for whoever wants to. Like Jared is pretty clear he's about it, and but
Just wanted to double check before we pieced out tonight.
yeah, but people want to spend time with their families, go for it. It's not worth it to, especially like Gigi. I imagine you've like flown in to hang out with your family. Like, I wouldn't spend 3 hours of Christmas time literally on Christmas away from them, you know.
Honestly, will just have to be a vibe check at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, I may or may not. It just depends on them. Because like, sometimes we'll just eat early and like it'll be like, well, whatever. But then sometimes people like, you know, there's some damage control, crowd control that needs to be taken care of, and I just might be like, I don't know if I could do another
Exactly.
socializing thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll see if I can make it. I'll do my best to try to make it.
Very cool, and no stress. It'll probably be a one-off kind of thingy anyhow, just to like another kind of thing, maybe like tonight or a special Christmas thing. I mean, not Christmas, holiday. It'll be like a special holiday, seasonal thing, and if not enough people for the regular campaign come, and that'll be cool.
I'm down. I'll be here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I can't go back home because I don't want to get my elderly parents sick.
Yeah, that's like a huge thing. That's very commendable. Like and yeah.
I did want to check because I didn't want to assume.
Cool.
All right, cool. I'll see some of you guys next week then. Everybody have a nice week and stay safe and stay healthy.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a
Good
good night.
night.
Bye.